Recording. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Lasagna Cat. Um, Taking the meeting because Semper is not available today, so I'm just kind of hosting the meeting, running the meeting a little bit. I don't know if this is a official Finding Your Way episode, but we've got recaps to check out from Luna the Cat, who's going through Finding Your Way, and Dell, who's going through Finding Your Way. I'm going to check out their progress and their recaps. And also we've got some recaps from another member, Noah. He's been with us for a couple months now. Get to check in on what he's been up to. And so let me get out a little notepad here so I can do some timestamps. All right, right on. Bear with me for the moment. And yeah, all right, here we go. So yeah, Luna, if you could let me see if I have screen share enabled. Da, da, da. Oh,
Not yet.
all right, yeah, right on. You're free to screen share whenever you're ready.
Okay, so let's do screen share. I'll do this one. Let me bring this over here. Can you see my screen?
Um, Not at the moment. Can anyone see it?
Oh,
There we go. It says you start screen share. Perfect. We got you. Oh, and check this out. Looks like you got some rules going. All right, take it away.
yes. These are the ones that I'm trying to get up and running. So
Mm-hmm.
these are my checklist. The 10 crossing the 50.
Yep.
Lower highs are formed. MACD bullish. Bias volume beat. Pull back to 50, and then check doji for entry. Very difficult for this to happen. Let
Yeah.
me tell you.
Right. Yeah, and it's a lot to wait for, right? It's a lot to set
It
up.
is a lot to wait for, so it's not easy to get that wonderful setup.
Yeah.
But sometimes you catch it, sometimes you not, because sometimes I'm not on screen all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, this is the January 22nd. So here, the RSI, I'm just going to go with the entries. So I did have an entry over here, but I closed it early. I thought it was a sign for bullish.
Uh-huh.
They entered the trade, but later realized that there was no volume beat. Sometimes my fingers click fast too. I don't go through the whole checklist. So while I was going through the checklist, it's things are shifted. So I said, okay, either it will break the previous low, or just leave it to break even and just get out.
Yeah.
So I just left it and closed it at break even, basically.
Right. And you're trading long here.
Here I was trading.
Oh, your signal's breaking up a bit on your phone. I mean, or on your mic rather.
You know?
It's a little murky. Got like that underwater sound to it.
Oh, okay. Uh, moment, just
Oh yeah, yeah. Take your time. Yeah. So I'm looking at this at Luna's chart setup here. Got the RSI indicator. Might want to throw a 50 line in there. And MACD, good tools. Um, yeah, volume's looking a little sketchy for a long. But we'll find out. We'll see what the thesis was here when Luna's got his mic back up, back online there. Curious what the um.
Hopefully this is better.
Oh, that already sounds better. Hell yeah, cool.
Okay, okay. All right.
Yeah,
So basically, yeah, so this one closed up. I was going long I
yeah.
over here. Um and it just I hold on one second. Yeah. So this was the cross over here.
Hmm.
I did it for it to come, and I took it over here thinking it's gonna go up because it went down. But it wasn't going the way I was expecting, so I just cut it off.
Right,
Uh
because it made that dip down right away.
yeah, yeah.
what I'm
So
noticing here is like if you have a 50 line on your RSI, that could help out with that. Do you
that's the 50 line.
oh that's you have that there? All
Yeah.
right. So like it looks like the red moving average is at your 50 SMA.
The red is my 50.
Yeah. So it looks
And
like one of the things that really helps me out is if price action is underneath the 50 SMA and if the
mhm,
50 SMA is hitting it and if the 50 RSI is if RSI is hitting its head on the 50, so if they're
mhm.
both underneath, that can really slow down along and that can signal another leg down to the downside.
Yeah. If you look at the left side, you can see how unstable it is. It's just going like right up, and it's like a snake in here. It's going up,
Yeah, you're
up
right.
and down. Like the signals are all over the place. Like you cannot catch a proper signal over here.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
like
Yeah.
like over here it crossed up and then boom, it's down. Over
Yep.
here it crossed down and then boom, it crossed up. So it's been doing this for a while. Uh, so to get that signal and to get this over here and to get that in the right direction and
Yeah.
the volume beat is a lot to look for.
No,
Yeah,
and,
it's not
and-
easy.
right. And this is funny. Brandon often talks about like, yeah, just don't trade this type of price action, this type of price action. When we're in the meeting, he's like, yeah, this is like a no trade situation. This could just be one of those because as you're saying, it's completely disregarding the moving average
Yeah,
that you depend on, completely disregarding. And it's like a snake. It's like total sideways, you know?
exactly, exactly. It's not a good spot. And then all of a sudden you see it jumping up or down. So it's and you can sometimes you cannot catch it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But sometimes you do catch good ones.
Yeah,
So
for
this was
sure.
the first one. Uh, this one here, I think I missed it. Yeah, this was a potential entry. I put the order for short, but it didn't fill. And that's something I want to ask you. I normally always put a sell limit.
Yeah.
Should I just go and press on a sell bid or sell market or something like this, or is this the right way to do it?
I tend to do sell I do like the worst one. I do the one where you start in a
Market?
quarter of a point in the deficit. I don't do market.
Oh,
I
they ask.
yeah, exactly. I do that.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
like
Yeah.
you start as a deficit at a deficit, but at least you get filled. And it's like maybe not the best way to do it, but that's the way I do it. I think Semper does it a little bit more.
So
Okay.
Lasagna Cat, if you're going in short, if you're going to sell, you buy the ask.
Sell the ask.
Sell.
Well, that's fine. That's not so bad. Okay. If
Yeah,
Yeah.
you normally want to go, if you're long, you're buying the bid or sell the ask. If you sell the bid or buy the ask, that's when you're really going in a big deficit.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't go short, so I'm thinking upside down right now. So you go both directions, Luna?
Yeah. I'm trying both.
Okay, right on. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have problems with doing either way. It just basically trying to see the picture when to enter the trade is a big
Yeah.
challenge. Yeah.
So you have similar criteria for entering short as you do long, just flipped.
Yeah, yeah. Same, just flip it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right on.
Just the reverse. So over here, I think did I go here short? It ended up, yeah, again, the 10 keeps on going sideways. And
Yep.
sometimes what happens, you get bored, so you just go and enter since it's sim. So
Yeah, I
it's not a
feel
good
you.
it's not a good idea, but it's just because I saw a lot of movement down and I mean the RSI,
Yeah,
but here I'm not sure if I potential entry I put a short but didn't fill. Okay, yeah, I think it ended up going short, but it didn't work out. I think because of this volume beat that
right.
I decided to go short. Over here the MACD was as well on a weaker side, and there's a lot of down movement rather
Yeah,
than the high. I know this one is not at the best. But again, to find all the indicators to align is like very difficult.
Well, I
But
mean, Semper says that like 3 is the magic number for like catalysts. So if you have your system and 3 good ones line up, he often says that it's, you look for 3 and then you can go for it.
yeah, but the thing is, like here it's a lower high,
Yeah,
but from here it's lower, it's a higher low.
I know.
Yeah, it's just the way how you look at things, right? But
Yeah,
the ones before were higher.
right.
So this is why I thought, okay, well, it is on a downtrend, it seems. So
Hmm.
it's so I decided to go short. I think it went up fine at the end, but it,
Yeah, and on that trade, if you look further left, all the big volume beats are sellers,
sellers,
Yeah.
exactly.
So that kind
I
of like could help with like direction potentially.
yeah, I think it ended up going there, but I didn't catch it.
Yeah, but you know what? The candle that you entered on was the right candle. You got that price
Yeah,
high and then you caught that leg entry correctly. So that's cool.
yeah. This is
You were,
basically,
yeah, like I know you didn't get filled, but you had the absolute right idea for where to get filled.
yeah. I don't know if it ended up my way, but
Right.
uh, we'll keep an eye short stop leash. Yeah, yeah. So here I entered, and I kept because again it's the way the market is. So I entered. I got stopped out. So
Yeah.
at the end, yeah. So this one it didn't work out.
Yeah.
So I got filled later on though, and this is the basically. So the potential was here,
Hmm.
right? And I got. If I have entered over here, I would not have been stopped out.
Yeah.
So this is the. But here I put it very short, so I just didn't want to take any risk and I got stopped out. But if I have entered over here as I was supposed to, uh, probably wouldn't. Well, maybe I don't know.
Were
Also,
you looking
entry.
at an entry over there at that time?
Yeah, yeah. I was looking for an entry.
And you
Yeah, no,
hesitated?
actually, I would have been stopped out if
Yeah,
I entered over here because I end up entering over here for
sure.
for for down. So yeah, I did get stopped out. So
Right.
uh, yeah. So that's the next one. Um,
So it seems like in a lot of your trades, and it looks like it happened in this one too, it's a matter of like waiting for more directional price action because you're getting caught in a lot of sideways chop. And I've
yeah,
been there, and and even to these days, there are definitely times where I think I see my setup and I think I see direction, and I get caught in the same sort of spell. Um,
yeah.
it would be a great thing for you to bring up with Semper next week and like, maybe address that as a sticking point just because it seems to be like consistently a thing that's happening that we can
And,
all relate to.
yeah, and then another thing that's happening, the movement sometimes is so fast.
Uh,
So basically, so other than the entries, the movement is so fast, it does not come back to confirm. Like
yeah,
when he says
yeah,
wait for it to come back to
yep,
confirm, right? So the movements are sometimes so fast. You see, it goes, crosses up, it doesn't come back.
yep,
And then when it comes back, it crosses down
yep,
and so on. So it's not necessarily it comes back to confirm and go back up, right?
yeah,
And I get stuck a lot in these uh, kind of trades. And sometimes when it goes up, you miss the train. It gone up, and you
yeah,
don't know when to take it. And if you take it, it's a risk that might come back, and there's no setup
right.
for me anyway. I mean, there are probably other setups, but for me, there's no play because I'm waiting for that cross, right?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I didn't trade live today, but there is an excellent setup that I was looking at that had the same kind of character. It shot up real quick, and even the pullback that I would have been looking for, it happened real quick as well, and there was like no reasonable risk reward entry. And like those moments are going to happen on a pretty regular basis throughout all of our entire trading careers, and it's just
Yeah.
we learn to accept, which is tough,
Yeah. Here I just got sidetracked. I just couldn't find a 1050 cross. So just, I said I will do NQ because everybody's doing NQ and I'm doing the ES. So I was
Yeah.
thinking maybe I should talk to Semper to see if that method will work in NQ as well.
Right.
I think he put me on ES because it's slower.
Yeah.
So that's probably
That's
yeah. So here there was an excellent setup that developed, before I started in the morning. It was pretty good. The RSI seems overbought. It was really high.
Yeah.
If you look, it was over here, right?
Yeah.
So it's at almost 78, 80. It must end and come down eventually, right? I know sometimes it keeps on going, but
Mhm.
I saw a volume beat over here. I saw the there was a big candle that's came up down,
Yeah.
and I took it from here.
Mhm.
And I think I did the Fibonacci as well. It seems like it was really going up, so it had to come back eventually, back
Right.
to Earth, right? So I did take it. I just did a quick trade, and it was $400, so it was not bad.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's really good. It was a higher risk entry because it was like, at the bottom of that big drop. But then again,
Yes.
it was holding. Is that a moving average or is that a middle Bollinger Band? Or what is
Oh,
that?
this is the Bollinger Band.
Yeah,
So
for
that's
sure.
the moving average. So when it went below the moving average, right? This is where
Yeah.
I start taking it. Yes. So
I
this
mean,
is the moving average,
yeah.
and this is the 10,
Hmm.
and this is the Bollinger up and down, right?
Yeah. All right, that's
So
really cool.
yeah,
One of the things
yes,
One of the things that Semper showed me, which you also had going for you in this trade, was see if I can do a see that little circle I made on the RSI, did that show?
yeah,
So like you see how that one goes down real steep,
yes.
and that's for that big volume bar. He's often told me that when it goes down steep like that, it's a lot less likely to come back up.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, so that's
Okay,
that's pretty cool. Uh,
okay. I'll keep that in mind. That's a good tip. And
yeah,
I saw as well the cross over here on the MACD.
right.
This is the histogram was down and starting to go bearish. So
Yeah,
there were many indicators. Not it's not the best entry over here normally,
sure.
but because of all the other stuff, I said, okay, I'll take it, and just
Yeah.
and it ended up good.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, Here I'm back to ES. Um, there was this is what I want. I took it here, but I want to ask actually Samper if I should take in consideration crosses at market open, because
Hmm.
I think this was around the market open. Let's see the time.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
believe the answer to that would be yes, because when I was going through Finding Your Way, he never made a differentiation for me. And also like when I trade through the open, I rely heavily on moving averages, but you definitely ask him
Okay.
because his insight and explanation could be a lot clearer, and he may have like certain details that are very valuable that he could tell you.
Right. Like because over here it did cross at 9. And we're
Hmm.
just waiting for it to come back to
Yeah,
the price, to come back to the 10 to the 50.
right.
It only came back over here. So the question is where my entry would be over here and
Yeah.
over here. I mean, that wouldn't,
To,
I
to
would have
go
been stopped out
to go short, right?
to go short. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the thing, it's um it can be a tough thing because like that entry there, that you pointed out, it's so like it's after this big drop, you know,
Right.
and so it's like if there had been a high candle that was more like up there where that weird square is.
Mhm.
And then the next candle was here, and then he could have like gotten in. Sorry, bad drawings, but you get it. Like if if this
Yeah.
candle had been up here, that would have been a great entry. But unfortunately, it's down here, you know, where this where you made the entry.
Yeah, but this is because it's a market open. This is why I asked if
Yeah.
market open counts or not, because the
Yeah,
movements are scary. So I don't get into, I don't play with market open. You always end up losing, even if you got lucky. The swings are so high and low.
yeah,
And this morning I had just thinking about entering something there, and it went up. It could have been did the buying, the stop, and in the blink of an eye. So
yeah.
it just it's a little bit difficult to do at opening. I know some people wait for the opening and
Yeah,
they trade the opening. I'm not here to play gambles, so
I hear you.
uh,
Hey Luna. Hey Luna,
Yeah.
one of the best things to do is wait like 10, 15 minutes after the open.
okay,
So like that you
okay,
could kind of get a sense of direction. You can even wait all the way till 7 a.m. because that's when the ICT New York kill zone starts. So there could be a play there too, and that's when you'll probably have more of a sense of a direction of where market might go.
in the morning, right?
Yeah, in the morning.
7
Well,
a.m.
it's
Yeah.
7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, not Eastern. So it'd
Oh,
be 10
so
o'clock for
that's
you.
10. That's 10.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I noticed Brandon and a lot of guys are making the early morning. It seems they come up at 9 o'clock and they already made their day. So
Yeah.
it
Lately,
seems a good
I've been
play.
hitting. Yeah, I've been hitting it like at 5:30 in the morning, Pacific Standard Time. It'll start to set up around 3 a.m. But that's where
Okay,
you start looking for setups, 3 a.m. to about 6 a.m. And then it'll
right.
kind of go sideways for a little bit until market opens.
Got you. So here, what did I do wrong on this entry? So this is
Oh.
the entry over here, like this here I did at 9:30 something, 9:38,
You were going
9:39.
long or short?
Short. So I entered over here because I've got a lower high and it came down steeply. So it was from the price action from the 50. I didn't enter over here because it was morning. It was
Mhm.
opening time. I didn't want to get involved with the swings of the opening of trades. So I entered around 9:30 something. 9:39, I think. Maybe I should have waited longer. It was 9:40.
940. Yeah, it's still making some indecision. I mean, you
Yeah,
entered, you got the cross, it hit the 50 estimate, right?
yeah.
And you
But
entered.
I think I kept my stop very, very low, but I kept it above the 100 EMA.
Yeah,
But it grabbed it and came down.
yeah, the only thing that I see that was bullish was the RSI was still making higher lows. Like when you wanna go short, you wanna see RSI making lower highs.
Yeah, but this is, well, where do you look at? Is it just the previous two or the previous?
No,
Because from
even see right there where you entered, see how the RSI broke down below again?
right,
Yeah, right there.
yeah,
Right there is still a higher low. I mean,
yeah.
yeah, it
But
is a
if you
higher
look,
low.
but how about between these two? This is a lower high.
Did
Like
this play end up going long or short?
I'm going short.
No,
So
I
if
know, but did
this
it
is
play out to the long side or to the short side?
um, I think it was going. You mean the end game? It
Yeah,
stopped me at over here,
I
which is
see the
basically
stop out.
yeah. I was going short over here. My entry was short. but I took only one because it was in the early morning and just because it was in the market open. It wasn't a big deal. It was just a $50 at the end of the day, not a
No,
huge
that's
amount.
awesome because you kept your
Yeah.
tight stop. I mean, your
Yeah,
tight
I
stop.
I th- I think it went down eventually or sideways. I can't remember. From now on maybe I should keep the more notes of where it ended up, so we
Yeah,
know.
I would recommend you take a shot of like when you enter, like a minute or two after you enter, and then
Yeah.
see where it finished. But
Yeah.
either way, sometimes it's not going to work out because right here you have the
Of course.
rejection of the 50 of the RSI, right?
All right.
And most of the time where it won't work out is either data's coming out or it's opening market,
Yeah.
or there's a speech. So
It's
be
possible.
careful for those three things.
Yeah. Yeah. And this morning at 8:30 there was I was telling that about the morning time when this happened, it in a blink of an eye, when there was a data just up and down like crazy. It's just
Mhm.
scary. Yeah. So yeah, I think
As a
this one went
beginner,
sideways.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, as a beginner, just like Lasagna Cat, when he first started going through the process, he wouldn't even play data. He wouldn't even play through speeches or anything. He would just evaluate to see if he would see his play set up.
Yeah. No, I didn't do it on purpose. I was just in there at 8:30 and looking to go for a trade, and everything's set up and ready to go, and boom, it went like crazy up, crazy down, and it could have stopped me before I even do anything. So I didn't know there was an 8:30 anything going on today. So, but
Okay.
yeah. So from now on, I'm going to keep the information about speeches and stuff in front of me. That's why I don't
Yes.
get
Yeah,
caught.
be aware of exactly what. Sometimes I'll forget and I'll get lucky, or sometimes it'll go against me.
Yeah.
But I'll get out. I'll get out like right away.
Just
To
set
keep my.
alarms on your phone. Set alarms on your phone for every data that's coming out. 5 minutes.
Oh, that's a good
So good.
idea. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good idea. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm-
yeah. 5 minutes before the data comes out, do that.
yeah. I'll put the schedule, because I think Brandon put the schedule up
Yeah.
of data and stuff. So maybe I should put that on an alarm. Yeah, makes sense.
Really useful. Yeah, give yourself that warning for like, I always have my alarms to set off like 5 minutes before data comes out. So my alarm comes on, it says 5 minutes till data, and then I assess whether I can play data or not,
Yeah. For now, I'm not doing data.
Yeah, right on.
So I avoid getting into the time of data. That's the idea.
Yeah, good.
So here I tried the B setup over here because it's harder to find sometimes than the A setup. For me, it's more stuff to look for. So I was going long, and here it seems I hit the news. I didn't know about the news, and it was, I think, going well until I hit the news. So this was he told me that the 50 is supposed to be flat. The first moving average, it was going up, but data came in. So over here it was over 50. So things were looking okay over here, but then I got caught off guard over here. So this is I wouldn't count this as a proper trade.
Can I ask? Oh, my God.
Yeah, so this is an A setup over here that I did. It was not the best, but again, I'm finding a hard time to get the in front of my computer at the time where the signal is.
Yeah.
So I did enter it, and I put very short stop on it. So over here.
Hey Luna, have you tried to put alerts?
What? Sorry, alerts?
Yeah, like let's say like the moving average crosses above or below the 10, you can do that too.
Oh, I didn't know you can do that on.
I don't use alerts because I'm always in front of my chart, or most of the time I'm in front of it.
Okay.
But you can try to use alerts. So like try to find something that will signal before the real signal comes up. You know what I'm saying? So if you get
You
the
can.
cross first, usually, then try that as an alert so you can go, okay, let me go make 15 minutes so I can go look at the chart real quick.
Okay, so does it work on Ninja Trader?
Yeah,
Or
I
I have
believe
to do
so.
it on Trading? Oh,
No,
okay.
you can do it on Ninja Trader.
Oh, I don't know. You can put alerts on Ninja. I said only Trading
Mhm.
View. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Sounds good. So this was my entry over here. So there was a cross. It came back. It came down. It was under 50. The over here, the MACD was low as well. But it did go up. So that was one of the things that scared me, that it actually histogram was actually weakening. I mean, strengthening. And there was a volume beat on the upper side, but there was a heavy movement on the selling. So I did take it. So I did close the position at the end with a 0.75 point loss. So it was very tight. I don't know if I should have, but that's the way I end up doing it. Ah, there we go. I put the result this time. So good thing I got out because it just shut up big time.
But did
So,
you see how when you got out, the RSI had back tested the 50 RSI to the right,
you mean
right below that
you mean
arrow?
the closing?
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, over
See how
here.
it back tested the RSI? That should be
Yes,
your. And I
yeah,
know a couple of the members have been caught up that way. Now I'll warn them. I'll say, hey, watch out! There's a back test of the RSI, or RSI is above the 50. Be careful. And look at the MACD how it started to cross too.
yeah,
See
yeah.
at the bottom how it was about to get the cross.
Yeah, I see it. But look over here. So basically, sorry, what's my entry over here, right? So the entry over here for me, when I'm looking, like if you don't see the right side, you're only looking at the right side. So for me, there was a lot of lower highs,
No,
right?
that's fine. Yep.
And it's supposed to be a good entry, but over here everything was fine so far, and then boom, it just sideways a little bit and went up. So
That blue
the
line, is that your 666?
blue line,
It's just the price level, probably the horizontal one.
Yeah,
this
that
one.
purple
No,
line.
no. This is just a line for me because there was a level before, so I thought maybe it will bring back to this level. So it's just a resistance level from before. So I just put it right there, thinking it might come back down to here. So I thought, it was
What's that moving
moving down.
average right there where it crossed the green? Right there where you had your mouse. What's that? Down,
This one,
down, down. No, where it
the
says
green
close,
one.
there's like a
Oh,
purple line.
the purple line. This is the 200.
And
This is the
then the
200.
line below that is a 666.
This one is the green is
50.
the EMA. The gray is the 666, and the white is the 10, and red is 50. So they all were cramped together. It's I hate when this happens, but
Just try to avoid that until you get used to them.
yeah,
When they're all tied up like that, try to avoid that and
okay,
until you get used to the moving of how they move. And I'll walk you guys through on how it should
okay,
look like.
okay, we'll do that. So it looked for me over here, it's a good entry. It didn't work out. I got stopped. Not a big deal. It was a very small, like even less than a point. So at least I know it's since things are not going my way, just cut it off. It's not a big deal. So this is, I consider this is a good, still a good trade, not a bad happening. Here, try the B setup. I did a lot of trading this day, 5 of them. So this one was my, where's my entry? Yeah, so I captured my entry over here. So this was my 50, the red one was my 50 SMA, it was flat. And the 10 SMA was kind of pointing down, not very steep, but it was pointing down.
Mm-hmm.
And so I looked at over here, multiple, you know, lower highs, and finally it went below 50. So, and this was going down, lots of higher beat with the selling, right? So I decided to go with that B setup that you told me, and I think it over here it did break the 50. The price action did break the next moving average. So I think these are the steps, right? Did I miss anything?
No, you got it.
Okay.
Did this
So,
one play out?
I didn't put the result. I thought I normally put the result. I think it did play out at the end. Yeah, I thought I did yeah, this one I think it did play out at the end, but I did not capture the details. I remember I had a B setup that worked out. So yeah, sorry, I thought I did clip it, but it didn't show up. Yeah, I don't know how I missed it. Anyways, what happened? So this is A setup again. And so this is your cross over here. Waited for it to come down. I think I messed up. I think I messed up my clips, my copies. I think this is the one. It's supposed to be up. Yeah. Yeah, this is the one I think I entered. And hold on, 4926, 4926. Let me see if this is the one or different one. No, it's different. Yeah, it's a different one. I don't know why I have, sometimes I do Control C, Control V to clip, but it seems I didn't clip it properly. Yeah. I think I messed them up. Yeah, this is I took a B setup over here, and this one worked properly. This one was flat. The RSI was below 50, and big volume beat. It did end up materializing.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
And see how meaningful that
The
steep side.
it was extremely steep. Yes. Yeah. And because it was below 50, I said, okay, I'll take it when it comes back to the 50 to the 10 SMA. So when it reached 10 SMA, I took it there, right over here.
Yeah, good entry. That's
Yeah.
the entry.
Yeah, and then when and one of the reasons I liked it is because it hit the 200, it went through it and went back to the 10. So I thought there's higher chance for it to come back to the 666, and it did at the end I think come up to the 666, but my stop was my target was here.
That's how
I
I
have
take profits too. I take profits before the, yeah, because
yes,
if it
yes. I mean,
shies, it's a waste of a trade.
it is, yeah, absolutely. And it happened to me a couple of times when I put it at the moving average. Sometimes it shies like for a tick or so and doesn't. Sometimes it's right on it, but it's not exceeding it, so it doesn't fill up the
Yeah,
order.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan.
yeah, yeah. Um, this was I missed. It was a perfect A setup, but I didn't get in. I wasn't in front of my screen until after. But look at it. Like honestly, it's so rare to find like beautiful ones like this. But
Yeah.
and it came back up here and just it just I missed it. But it did come down eventually.
And I'm seeing something really consistent in the RSI about your setup because it had the
The big
very
drops.
the big drop, and then
Yeah.
also the sort of sideways that happens up here is very similar to happen before the drop. I've noticed in some of your slides right now. So like,
Yeah.
you know, that left hand sort of like consolidation, that's like, is that an overheat? I can't quite tell from the chart. Like,
It's this bluish line, turquoise
right.
line is the 70.
Okay, so it's not quite overheat, but it is like
Yeah.
sort of consolidating up there before the drop happens.
Yeah.
Like that really vertical drop. Yeah, it's cool. It's like that's playing out with some of your the instances of your setups. That's cool.
Yeah. The other ones I caught a good one. Um, uh, here I did a mistake. The cross was far back. I noticed that later on. I was trying to go long,
Mhm.
but the cross was way too far. And again, I should not have taken this one. So I did get stop out.
It would have been good though if you took it like, isn't this sort of like more of the pullback that you usually look for right here? Or do I
Uh,
understand?
oh, like normally what I look at is when it cross up and it cross up before, right?
Yeah,
When I look at for to come price to date over here and then take it. So I really should have taken it over here
yeah,
more than anything. But I thought maybe it's another come back and test again over here.
yeah.
And since yeah, it came over here, I thought it will. Did I take it down or tree? I took it from here, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, so that was a long attempt.
over here.
Okay.
Oh no, this I took short, I think.
You took that short. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I think I took that short, and I got stopped over here.
Right.
Check.
Yeah.
No,
So
no, no. This was long.
that was long.
This was long. Yes. Okay, okay. I got it now. So basically, what in my mind, I'm supposed to take it from here usually, right?
Yeah.
Because the price action came over here. It was far away though. The cross was far. And then I thought maybe it will retest. It's a retest for it. It
Mhm.
came down. It did change over here, the doji over here. So I thought maybe it will change direction.
Yeah.
And then when it went up, I took it. I
Right.
took it over here. I think I should have waited until it's green, and then the one after it, I take it.
Yeah.
Instead, it just went right down and took me out. So
Right.
that's that. Yeah.
One
So
of the one of the things that you could have looked at is again, it was like a similar RSI look. It was pretty vertical here, and the verticalness of it took it beneath the 50 RSI.
right, right, and that's so far it's been. We can establish that this when you see a vertical like this, don't take it long because it's gonna come probably more down.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a bad trade.
But a good takeaway nonetheless, you know.
Yeah. That's why I tried the NQ. Again, I couldn't catch probably any of these setups. So it was just I, I I I just tried the NQ. So what it was a good trade this one. I kept my target at the level 666 over here,
Mhm.
and I kept it running. And I just looked for a level, nothing.
Yeah.
Basically trying to get over here. I did take it down from here.
Right.
I saw a lot of basically lower highs. But
Yeah.
again, I don't consider this one because it was not my kind of regular setup. But I saw a cross, but it didn't come back to the price action.
Mhm.
So, but I did take it because at this point I had a little bit of research on certain levels, and I noticed that it was, there was a bearish movement, and I'm hoping to catch the 666.
Yeah.
It worked fine.
That worked really well.
Yeah.
I like the way RSI confirmed under the 50 on that one, on that last one.
Which
I
one?
think it's
On
like,
this one?
yeah, because like before the like scroll up a bit so you can see the price action. So yeah, it's like, we got this vertical drop here, way before your trade, but it was another example of where the vertical RSI comes in, and you see right next to it, it confirms underneath the 50,
Yeah.
which is like a good directional pick. And this was a lot of chop here, but you did recognize this meaningful lower high for your entry. So it's like when going back in time to like this whole area, you can see like kind of where it started setting up. So it's
Yeah.
kind of cool. Good thing.
Again, another sharp, huh?
Another really sharp one.
Another sharp one followed by a bearish movement. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Really
Yeah.
steep one, and then it had the little after the steep it had that
Yeah.
confirmation under the 50, and also really good volume beats I'm seeing. So that's
Yeah.
and look at all
If
the bearish
like,
histogram too.
yeah, look, I mean, looking at this now, I keep an attention on this because
Yeah.
you're right. I mean, I should probably look for an entry over here
Yeah, I
because
mean,
after that big
you could check
steep,
it out.
it's not a bad idea to come an entry after the big steep. So
Yeah, I mean, you could check it out because it had the pull back to the 10 and
right, and coming. Sorry, not here. Here, yeah, at the 10. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Then you had your overcool, and you already had this one big a seller beat rather. That seller beat right there. So that was yeah,
Yeah, that's a good tip. Thank you.
yeah, no worries.
Okay. Here again, I took an A setup over here,
Mhm.
and so this is the cross. It went back to the 50 SMA, which is the red. So
Yeah.
I was just waiting for it to come down. Now the RSI was doing lower highs, so probably I'm gonna end up stopped out. I don't know, but I put a short stop on it. Again, when I'm looking at this over here, it was the RSI was at the bottom. So
Yeah.
yeah, I should have looked at over here. It's doing a lower high. I'm not sure if this worked out at the end. Well, all did. Oh, it did work, it seems. It was nerve-wracking though. This one
Yeah.
worked fine. Yeah, it was a whopping 16,440.
Yeah, it's great.
So yeah, it did work at the end. But these are multiple ones actually. This is
Yeah.
for multiples. Yeah, this is for the total for the day.
So that
Uh,
last one up there, was that one of these ones from this slide?
Yes, it target. This is the one. This
Oh,
is the one.
went to your short target. All right.
Yeah. So this is the one that I entered over here.
Oh yeah, let's see that.
So basically, it wasn't a good entry because it did a lower highs.
Right.
So I did put a short, like a tight entry stop on it.
Yeah.
Because I was in it already.
Mm-hmm.
The general sentiment was bearish, and like if you look at the longer picture, it was very bearish.
Yeah.
And I know over here it wasn't the best entry,
Right.
but I don't know. Maybe I got lucky, but it ended up.
When you say it wasn't the best entry, you mean because like, do you mean that it wasn't confirmed like very well, or that it because it was over the
No,
RS?
the confirmation was here is good,
Yeah,
but it could have gone either way.
yeah. Because then you had
Yes. Because I've got this RSI up, lower highs. I've got this going up over here.
true. Yeah,
Yeah, and but my mind was like you know, it went really steep over here, right?
Mhm.
And so we are in and the whole movement, like the whole thing was in a bearish movement. If you look at it over here, if you look over here, it did a lower highs, and the entire thing was going like in a bearish movement. So
Yeah.
I thought if I catch it, I catch it, but it was risky.
yeah. I
So
mean that price action there with those lower highs. Sorry. Yeah, lower highs. That's probably the most significant part of it because that's a very clear trend direction.
yeah, if you look, like this is where I took my entry was here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was multiple stuff, but then it really went down quite a bit.
Yeah.
So it was, but look where it ended up.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, but
So
like, yeah, it did end up there, but like the thesis worked out and that it hit your target. And sure, it's like, yeah, it's like in time, it's bound to like get over there at some point. But the meaningful thing is that you caught this significant leg all the way from you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
you know,
it,
your goal
it,
was
it
to catch this leg and you got it, you know.
yeah, and it went down all the way my over here, but it did continue.
Yeah,
But my stops were here, so I just took my profit and that's it.
for
So
sure.
yeah, that day was pretty good. The day trade.
Yeah, it's really good.
Not sure if there was one more or that's it, I think.
Wow, that's really,
Yeah.
really cool.
Oh, look at this one. This is today.
Oh, let's see that.
Do you see two screens or how can I do one
Yeah, we
screen?
see two.
Okay, let me just do one screen.
I recognize that. Today was a day that I was actually watching more closely. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, this one, I was waiting for the confirmation. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck waiting for the confirmation there. It just went, and I didn't take it. But how do you know where to take it?
Well,
Like,
there's
you know,
I remember from today there was something kind of frustrating about it, but there was something also kind of good. So the thing that I recognized today was this trend line right here, you know, like that.
Falling wedge.
Yeah, falling wedge there. And then like the other one, that was a good one. So with the falling wedge, so you see these low candles down there in that little area. So it's
right?
like when the green candle sort of exceeds that lower area of reds. My drawings are getting kind of funny, but you know,
Yeah, no, good. That's
oh, yeah.
very good, actually.
All right, that's excellent. Cool. Glad to hear it. And then the other good one is so you see the doji candle, the one with the big wick.
Hmm.
That started its life as a big red candle that went all the way down there to your 50. And what do you call it? So that retraced to the 50 after a wedge break. So it breaks the wedge, comes up, comes back down in the 50. And that's a good entry. The thing that could be better about that entry, which when I was liking it, when I was watching it, I didn't like it as much, was that if this red candle, right, had like another little candle like right there, and then the next candle broke above it, that would have
Yes.
been a lot better. Because what I didn't like was that since this one ended up squeezing back up so high, the entry would have been here, which is so
Yeah.
close to the top. It's more like a break
Correct.
trade. So I didn't really like the look of that. So it was
Right.
in a sense, it did give a great entry, but for like those safer leg pullbacks, it wasn't quite what I normally look for.
Right, right. So this is what I was looking for because over here it did go up. So basically there was it was a cross down, right?
Yeah.
So and then you've got a lower high. So I was expecting a short, honestly. I was
Mhm.
waiting for it to take a short from somewhere over here. But I didn't take a short.
Yeah.
So basically here it crossed. I thought, okay, it's a lower high, it's coming up higher. It could be a reverse.
Yep.
I will just wait for the confirmation, so I will be on the safe side. It didn't never confirm, so I never took it.
Where would you have liked to have seen the confirmation?
At the 50.
Yeah.
Uh,
Just not
where?
as fast as that, right? Because it
No,
happened.
no, no. That's not a confirmation for me. I was waiting for after this cross because I'm taking it long. Remember,
Yeah, yeah.
the first cross for the 50
Mhm.
for the 10 was over here.
Yeah.
This was a cross down, right?
Yeah.
So I'm waiting after the cross up. I'm waiting for the price down to come down over here
I
back to
see
the
what you're
50
saying.
and take it.
I see.
Yeah,
You need
because this
that
is
10
this
confirmation.
is the A setup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it depends on a 10 confirmation, but it has to be after the cross. That's what it is?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
All right. Yeah.
yes. So I didn't get that confirmation, and it went very fast.
Yep.
So and we don't take things at the top. So
Yeah.
there's wherever you take it is unless you have levels or something you're working on, right?
Right. for
Maybe
sure.
if I had because I'm playing a little bit with the volume profile. I have the book and reading a little bit
Mhm.
and trying to understand it and stuff. Maybe if I had a level somewhere over here, I'll take that risk. Otherwise, I wouldn't bother.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, what book is that? I'm not is there a book that's all about volume profile?
Yeah, yeah. There's just I think Pete the Cat put the link for
Okay.
it. So there is something about
Hey,
it. Yeah.
hey, Luna. So what you want to do is to be able to catch bottoms, you got to look at these little spots right here.
Hmm.
If you're going long, right? Because
Okay.
these spots are where buyers are. So
Right.
if you had the volume profile here, and I'm not gonna add it, but once you're ready to add it, I can show you
Right.
some tips and tricks with the volume profile. And you've seen me how I call out the volume profile levels in the chat during the week.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Hey,
Yes.
this level, if it hits this level, it's gonna be rejection. But also you gotta look at these red ones right here because that's where sellers are gonna be, right? Because
Hmm.
once price action goes up to here, to this area, oops, to this area, you know there's going to be sellers because they're right here waiting.
Right. But in this
So
case, I would from here, from this area to here, I wouldn't. This is the most confusing spot for me to go. Like you don't know if it's gonna continue down or is gonna reverse. So
yeah, but
this part is the most confusing.
it's because we haven't brought in price action patterns into your repertoire. So
Okay.
like, look at I see a inverted head and shoulders.
Okay.
So once you see this, once you see the left shoulder, right, you see it like that, and then you do a fresh low,
Okay.
and then this is the head, right? This is the head. So
Right.
now you're looking for an
Ah,
area. And oops,
for
hold on.
entry.
Now you're looking for an area that
Yeah.
it would hold, right? So to
Okay.
me, like, what do I always say? Dojis, 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 right?
Right.
So here's a doji right here. So that level right there needs a hold.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If it comes back and holds that level, I'm pretty sure there'd probably be a volume profile because of that doji. Because usually volume profiles line up to dojis.
Hmm.
So I always say, hey, look to your left. There's structure
Yeah.
over here.
It
So
lined
there's
up with this
buyers
one.
right there. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
buyers right there. Buyers are see how it's better when there's wicks. Like see how this doji right here had a huge wick?
Right.
So you know that in this area there's buyers waiting right here because of that wick. So where are they gonna
The-
buy it up?
We're
At
talking
that
about
wick.
the middle one, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I want to see wicks like that. Like I want to see a big green candle like that. Because when you see there's a big green candle like that, it's an impulse move, and there's gonna be buyers right there waiting
Okay.
because that was a big move, right? Whenever there's a big
Right.
move down, same thing. There's a big. If you notice right here, there was a little speed bump right here
Okay.
because the sellers try to get in right here
Mhm.
because they were waiting right here, right? But
Right.
the RSI was bullish. I don't know if MACD was bullish. I can't really tell. Sorry, I'm on my phone.
Oh,
Um,
the MACD, where about? You're looking
I
for?
can't see the MACD.
Like
But,
on which candle you want to see the MACD? I can tell you.
hold on. Hold on. Yeah, the MACD was creating higher lows too, right there. You see that? Oop, hold on. Right here.
Okay.
So the MACD was creating higher lows. So you know it's being bullish. And also
Oh, I
the
see.
RSI is creating higher lows. What you gotta do is look at the RSI, and if it breaks that little level, if this one were to go down a little bit more or go all the way to overcool, then it's a toss up, right? But if it
Right.
creates a higher low,
Higher
if
chance.
it's a higher chance of it going up, especially with the MACD
Okay.
the way it looked.
Okay.
See the MACD the way it looked? It, hold on. The MACD, the histograms were going to buyers, and there was like
Yes.
no sell waves, no sell wave at all. You see that?
Over here.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
There was
There
no
was.
sell wave.
Yeah. So
And as
where
soon
would
as you
you
see that,
enter? Because
as
I
soon as
don't.
you hold that
You,
doji,
we don't see this over here, right? So I'm here right now. Doji
Yep.
happened. This going
so
crazy
like,
over here. Where do you get in?
hold on one sec. Let me erase all this. Ah,
Because remember, you don't see anything on the right side.
Yep.
So you've got
No,
a little of a histogram up, not a huge thing. Volume, not crazy. So buyers did get in over here, yes. Big volume.
it's hard being on the phone.
Yeah, it's
But,
weird over here. There's a huge volume, but yet there's no big
So
movement.
this is the way I would look at it, straight up. So I would mark a level right there on that doji. Sorry, my drawing's a little off, but
Yeah, no problem. Got it.
oops, hold on. If I
Yeah,
can
you're
get
talking about
better
this
drawing.
doji.
Nope.
This one?
This doji right here. This
This one
doji,
here.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
So
I
see
mark
how
a
these
line.
see how those two little red dojis right here?
Right.
So as soon as that first red doji hits this yellow level or whatever level I drew,
Okay.
this level that I drew right here, as soon as that, not the doji, but that red candle right before the doji,
Right. If it hits the same doji line.
yeah, if it hits that same doji line, start looking at RSI right there. As soon as it kept the higher low intact
Mhm.
right here,
Right. It did.
then you would be okay. I'm getting in at the break. Oops, right there. The bottom yellow, the middle yellow
Okay.
line.
Which basically
One
coincides
tick
with the.
above
Yeah.
one tick above that red doji, you would get in.
Okay. Okay. So just give me 1 second. Let me grab picture. picture of this.
Sorry for the lines. I'm on my phone and
That's okay. Don't worry about that. I got the concept. So just this is the important part. Okay.
but that's another way. I'm just having you concentrate on one way, so like that you're not overwhelming yourself and just taking trades aimlessly. Leslie, you know what I'm saying? But once you get the
Yes.
concept down, you're gonna start seeing these patterns, and you'll be like, "Oh, look, there's a head for me." And that's why on the chat, I'm trying to inform you guys, "Hey, a head and shoulders is forming. Hey, higher lows are forming on RSI. Watch that divergence." I'm
Yeah.
trying to point that out to you guys so you guys can see it ahead of time and start looking for other catalysts to stack up.
Yeah.
Because I'm typing it in the chat. Sometimes it's too, price action happens too fast for me to type it all out.
Mhm.
But that's why I'm always like, hey, look, higher lows are forming, or there's a gap, or there's a fair value gap here, or so you guys can start seeing what I'm seeing. It's like, oh, okay, this is what he's seeing live. He's seeing the higher lows. Okay, now he sees that. Then I try to say something else that I see. Sometimes I'll say RSI and MACD are bullish. Look out.
Mhm.
Like I'll tell Easy, hey, be careful because RSI and MACD are bullish. I'm trying to
Okay.
point out all these things because sometimes you got new traders get tunnel vision and they're like, oh yeah, I got the 1050 cross, I'm gonna get in. And they're like, no, slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
Take a look at what the RSI looks like. Take a look at what the MACD looks like, and then think about getting in.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I do click sometimes before I go through everything, or I think it was all thorough, but then after I click, oh no, it's not this, and then this is why I stop it or I put very short stop. But does this apply to the NQs? If it does, I would rather do NQ because it seems everybody's doing NQ, and this way, like when you're giving directions on chat, I can be with you guys and see the NQ action. If it works, if it doesn't, then I'll say with the ES. I don't have no problem. But if the crosses and everything the same rules I'm doing, if it works as well on NQ, I would rather use NQ than ES if it does. Hello?
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Sometimes NQ leads ES, and sometimes ES leads NQ. Know what I'm saying? You'll hear Brandon say, "Oh, NQ is running up," so it's leading ES. Same with the SPY and QQQ. New
Okay.
traders will be like, "Well, why are we looking at SPY when we're trading ES, or why are we looking at Qs when we're trading NQ?" They're exactly the same. They're just 10 times more. And sometimes you'll get a gap on SPY, but you won't get it on ES. On futures, there's rarely any gaps, only at open.
Okay.
So on SPY, the reason why Brandon always tells us concentrate on SPY during market open. Concentrate on Qs during market open. After market closes, you only concentrate on futures.
Okay.
But ultimately they're still gonna look the same, right? But on SPY during the market open, you'll see gaps, and gaps are important. Gaps and dojis are number 1 and number 2 of importance.
Okay.
Me, I tend to lean a little bit more towards dojis because I always, ever since Brandon introduced me to dojis, and I've been trading concentrating 100% on futures, those doji levels are important. And now when I layered the volume profile on top of that, and now it makes sense. Because with those volume profile walls, those limit order walls that Brandon talks about, they're at the doji levels. So what does limit order mean? Limit order means that some buyers didn't get filled. So
Mhm.
they still have their limit order right there. So when it hits that limit order wall, it's either gonna fill them or it's gonna stop them out, or it can do both, right? But at
Mhm.
first, it's gonna fill those. It's gonna fill those limit orders, and it's gonna cause a pop, or it's gonna cause a dump, or a pullback. Not a dump, but it'll cause a pullback.
Right.
And then if there's another volume profile below that where the pullback hits, then it, and it stays above that volume profile, then it's probably gonna go up. It retraced back, and then it's gonna bounce higher.
Okay.
Cool. That's all
So
I
you s-
had.
So you
What's
suggest
that?
I stay with ES then?
No, whatever you think.
Oh, okay.
Just be
Good.
careful that NQ is a little bit more fast
Faster.
paced and more dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah. No problem. That's fine. As long as the same indicators work in the same manner.
Yep.
And
The same
I,
strategy works for both of them. It doesn't matter
okay.
which one you're trading.
So,
It's just it moves a little bit faster.
so what is a good targets I should aim for NQ
Like point
if I
wise, or
point wise? Yeah.
I don't really
Or
use points on
so just
NQ. I just use
do
like
levels.
moving averages
Ah,
or a
okay. So
volume
on,
profile level. Or you can do prior structure. So what you want to do is just look prior structure, right?
okay.
So if you got in right here at the bottom, then your first target would be right here at this little prior structure right here.
Okay.
And if it gets above that, then your next target is the next prior structure right there. And if it gets over
Okay.
that, it's up there. If you're not using
Okay.
moving averages, or you don't have any moving averages, look to the left to see if there's any peaks that might be targets, because sellers are going to be there.
Okay. And how many contracts is good to have? Because you're saying multiple targets. Should I take
I would
like
say two. I would start out
two?
with two.
Okay.
With two, you can make damage, but it can also damage you too. So
Yeah. Yeah.
just be
Absolutely.
careful.
I mean, hopefully it should be all right.
Yeah.
Let's see.
No, you'll be good.
Okay. Thank you so much, guys.
Ain't no problem. Did Dell already go, or?
No, Dell hasn't gone yet. We
No, I
have
haven't gone.
Dell, and then Noah has some recaps for the end. We got time.
For sure.
But
Whoever
yeah,
wants to go next, let's do it.
yeah. Dell. I think Dell's all queued up to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna share my screen.
Sorry, but I took too long.
No, you're fine. You're fine, actually. I've learned some things actually, so it's perfect.
This helps everybody, and that's what I like about this group is, hey, if you come here and it's not your strategy, you're gonna get a different perspective. Or not even
Yeah.
that. You're gonna add you can add your strategy, or your strategy to my strategy, and then I'll have two strategies, right? So
Yeah.
it's just about bringing it all together. Like
I would love to
after this,
learn this the fair value eventually.
yeah, you will. You will. You just gotta take it easy, take it slow.
Yes.
All right, so could you guys hear me?
We
We
can.
got you.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, trading the fair value gap, starting Monday. I think, like I said, usually, I was saying earlier, I don't know, I find more better to actually start trading, like you said, at the New York Kill Zone, especially like around 10 o'clock. Because early in the morning, I feel like, I usually will miss trades, or I really don't get a clear picture of a trade. Even though this one worked out going short, it didn't really feel good, but it still worked out. I was able to catch this short because I kind of really wanted to. I think when I really started looking at the charts, this move already happened, but I had this line because I saw this doji and I told myself, all right, and I think it was something, it was because of this doji I drew the line and I said if it bounces on here or consolidates, if it pulls down, I'll take the short. and I would take it down to the next green fair value gap, which was supposed to be down here. That was the actual plan. So as the play was going, it came back up. So I actually, since it didn't go over, I picked up a second contract to make it 2 contracts because I was only going with 1. And I got close to it because again, this was actually on its way down. So I was looking to to see if it would continue to close one, and if it continued close the other one at the bottom of the green fair value gap. But it actually didn't go, and I profit stopped. Sorry, I profit stopped out of it. So I didn't go, like I said, I didn't go red, but it didn't actually play out. I don't know if I was, because again, I was just nervous. If I stayed in it, it actually would have played out, because I started looking at the charts and I actually got back in, but I didn't get back in until it was under the 10 SMA. So that's what I waited for, because I saw like, okay, it's under the 10 SMA. The 50 didn't go over. I think this is going to be actually where the play continues. And that's when I was able to close out on this play, target hit. And that was basically it. And that was the actual only play that I did for Monday. So
Awesome.
that being said, Tuesday was later in the day. I think this is when you mentioned like there were some fair value gaps, but I didn't get into a trade yet because I couldn't see anything. So because I was on a 5-minute, I couldn't see anything. I switched over to the 30-minute. And I wanted to try this out with the because I only have on the 30-minute the volume profile. There was a long volume profile over here, which I saw from these wicks that were just like holding. I mean, not from the body that was holding. So I was like, all right, let me take a shot, see what ends up happening. My target would actually be like right where this volume profile would be. So as you can see, 2 contracts, I was actually able to hit. So that was my first trade. My second trade actually, because I closed one out. This is where I closed one out, and that's where it stayed above. So on my second trade from it, because I closed both of them out, I drew another line from that point, and I saw it hovering over. So now from here I got in, and I wanted my target to be the main pivot point, which it actually did hit. I didn't get the screenshot, but it did actually hit the straight main pivot point, and I was out on this one on the 30-minute. So that was my first trade for the day. Hold on a second, guys. All right, sorry. Then later on in that, like I said, after that time, I got into this trade on a 1-minute with NQ going short. Basically I was waiting because I saw it bouncing under the 666 SMA, but I wasn't sure like if it was gonna pop or not, even though we had these red fair values I should have gotten into. I just didn't feel confident because it was like literally right here on the 666. So I just let it play out, and then when it actually started breaking and I saw 2 red fair value gaps, that's when I actually decided to play the short, because it had the BPR with this green fair value gap. And I was actually able to take this on a low, and I created a stop loss just in case. And I was actually closed it out at right here, and I was able to get out on this one. No, yep. No, actually, this one I moved. No, this one I was wrong. I profited out. When I saw this red value gap, I moved it down because it started going down, and it profited out because it went back up. So I was still green, but I got profit stopped out. So that's what ended up happening on the 1-minute. So after that, I saw this play on the 5-minute where this was above the 666. So I actually waited for the fair value gap to play out. I actually jumped in right here. No, I actually jumped in right on it, but then I created my stop loss right here, just in case, because again, we're coming down short, and even though I did see a BPR, I didn't want to take no chances. And my exit was actually at the bottom of the fair value gap, which I was able to take profit. And that was it for the day. So those are my 3 trades for that Tuesday. Wednesday, this was when the market was going up. So this is when the market actually hit high of day. This was actually my first trade also, and I actually waited until see, this was different from fair value gap. This was like an old thing that we used to do. So when it actually bounces back from the top, right, so I drew the line, and if it was holding, I actually got in because of the trend line. Because it was following the trend line, I got in, even though you know not to play highs, but you know I took the chance, and it actually worked out because this became a good play. It hit over the 10 SMA, and you know it just worked out. It worked out well. It was hovering over the 50 when I actually got in, and that's what gave me that confidence. I didn't even check the MACD at the time, but I just, those my 3 confirmation was okay. It bounced off the high, it held the trend line, and it's been bouncing off. It's been holding on that 50. So that's what made me get into the play, and I just trailed it with 1 stop loss, and I got profited out on this play. And as you can see, profited out when I saw this candle. I was like, all right, depending on the next candle that plays, this could give me a fair value gap. And actually, that's what ended up happening. So on a reverse angle, I waited for the grade A setup where it goes down, comes back, but I wasn't too sure if it was, because again, it was on an up market. I didn't want to take that early chance, so I waited till it broke the trend line, and that's when I actually got in. And I was able to take it down all the way down to the top of the market previous high, so which was right here. And that was actually it for the day. I was done.
Yeah, I love that. I love how you anticipated that it was going to set up a fair value gap move for you, like on the way back down.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like now depending on the candles, I can see if it's going to do it. And, you know, I wait for the next candle to confirm, all right, there's the very fair value. And it feels good seeing that when I think it, and then to see the system actually pops it up, I just felt confident, like, oh, yes, there we go. But then now I try to think of the next, like, okay, what's going to end up happening? Because sometimes recently it's been where the next candle will create it, but it'll still drop down. So there's really no A setup for entry.
Yeah.
So it'll just like bounce here, and then everything else will just probably continue down. But since I wasn't sure if this was going to continue, come down and continue back up for that bull run that we've been going on, I wanted another confirmation, and this trend line actually gave me that confirmation.
Yeah.
And then once I saw it breaking that 50, I'm like, all right, I will take it here, but then I would use the fair value gap as my profit, like as my stop.
Yeah.
So that's how I try to gauge the plays.
So you had the underside of the trend line, the underside of the fair value gap, and did you have? Oh, no, I see volume beats in that neighborhood as well. Red volume beats, a lot of red volume going all the way back, in fact. So that's cool.
Yeah, to be honest, during that moment, I didn't even really look at the volume.
Oh, yeah?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't look at the volume. I saw the trend,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, it's under the trend, it's under the red value because this got created. And even though, because it did play it perfectly, I could have gotten in here, but again, we just came in, it just came up to ultimate highs.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was gonna come back down and then just shoot right back up, you know, like stair step up. So I didn't want to just get in just because. So I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, let me get more confirmations. And it would have been right to look at this and like this would have gave me confirmation within itself, because even right here,
Mhm.
right where it popped, like you said, there were nothing but reds, but I didn't know if it was a scam.
Yeah. Well, you know what? My eye just picked out something else as well, and it was something that kept coming up in a few of Luna's trades, and it's down here in RSI, that vertical drop. Because like you see like in the price action up above, it comes down to the 50. That's your 50, the red one? SMA?
Which one?
The 50 SMA, is it the red?
Yes,
red
is the
limit?
red, correct.
Yeah, so like the 50 price action came down to the 50 SMA, and RSI also came down to 50, which is often a good uh uh catalyst for continued upside. But you see where I got the rectangle there on RSI, you see how vertical that RSI drop is.
Mhm.
So one one thing that Semper taught me is that if the RSI drop is really vertical like that, that it often can signal it's going to continue down. And then you see that the confirmation right here, it only just peaks above the 50 RSI before continuing down, and that goes in line with up here in price action where it retested the bottom of the trend line and stuff. So it's like, so yeah, that really steep RSI is a cool thing to look out for. And
Okay.
it's just, I don't know, it's, I mean, you already had the excellent trade. Just like, that's one more thing I noticed about it.
Because I thought, because I remember also Semper saying like, if you see it drop, especially if it doesn't drop hard,
Mhm.
because it was close to overheat. And if it didn't drop hard, it could be a scam because it's just readjusting to go up higher.
Yeah, yeah.
So, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh no, I'm just saying that that's a good way of putting it. Like that's a good way of wording that.
So that's why I thought it would be a scam. I'm like, all right, the RSI did drop. It's holding over the 50. I wasn't too sure, but then like I said, since it did break the trend,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's one. And two, the fair value gap, and then the 10 SMA. So like I said, I took a chance, but I did also make sure, like, okay, if this doesn't work out, you're gonna get out at the fair value gap. And
Yeah.
if I had to reset, I would reset again, but that would have been because I didn't want to lose those points.
Yeah, it's great to get in when you got that predefined stop. That's really key.
And that play, like I said, it just went down and I was able to get it going, and that was it. And that was actually it for Wednesday.
Yeah, that's great.
Thursday, I did not take a trade because I was focusing on other things.
That
It
happens.
was a hard day Thursday. It was a hard day Thursday for me.
I get that.
So I was just recouping, and actually, I think today I only took one trade, which was same. Actually, it was shocking for me because it was like kind of the same trade that Semper took. This line actually, these lines that I create here are from wicks. When I see and I feel like if there's important, I'll create these wicks, and I'll create the lines off these wicks.
Mhm.
So I noticed like, the market was just like hovering over this wick, and it came over here, even though like it hit the 666. I'm like, okay, depending on what ends up happening, I was like, okay, I had to first structure if am I gonna go long or short. I think that's how I could determine if my day is gonna go right. If I try to say it's a long day and I try to go to short, it doesn't, I get more scared. I get more, not say scared, but like unsure.
Yeah.
So I'll probably won't see the play. I'll try to manifest my own play. So with this being said, I was like, okay, I'm gonna look for a long, and I'm just gonna wait until that ends up happening. And it hit the 666. It came up around here, and I still have this other wick line that if you can see in the background, that was here. And there was another wick in here that actually on the 5 minute that had me confirm this wick right here was a little body wick.
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay, this is right here. It's kind of right on top of this other wick from the other day. This is why you see my entry point, even it's on the fair value gap, which gave me more confirmation. I felt more confident taking it from here. after the big drop because I didn't know if it was gonna break under or anything, but
Yeah.
that got me back over to the 6 and I was able to profit some good points off of that one.
Yeah. Ooh, good price action read on that. You know, for me, indicators would have been a little confusing on this, but you had a lot of good price action things that you noticed. Good trades.
Thanks.
Yeah, man. Yeah, looks like a good week, huh?
It has. Besides, like I said, Thursday was very difficult, but it was a good week. It was really a good week.
Hey, Dale, on that last trade, there was a lot of confluence, and I said it in the chat. There was a 666 fair value gap. I forgot what else, but there was a third thing, and I was like, that's like super strong level, so you know it's gonna hit. And I had a fishing order right at the 666, right after
Oh, you
that
were-
doji was formed.
Yeah, I was looking at your picture. I saw you had it on the 1 minute. So I
Mhm.
looked at the 1 minute and I was like, oh, okay. Because like I said, sometimes when you do right, I'm trying to understand like what time frame are you on?
Yeah, I
You
usually try
know?
to say the 1 minute, or I usually try to, call out the time frame that I'm doing. Sometimes I'll forget, but
No, it's fine. You see, but that's the thing, because it helps me move over to different time frames. Because what like that first trade on the Monday, you message, hey, there's a fair value gap. Did you take the trade? And I'm like, no, I didn't take the trade yet. I was still on the 5 minute. I didn't see anything on the 1 minute because I wasn't looking. So when after you said that, I looked at the 1 minute and I'm like, okay, I see it, but this already ran. Let me check the 30 minute and see what do I see and what do I see forming. And like I said, I had the volume profile, so I was like, all right, let me switch gears and see if this might work. Because I did watch the video. I didn't fully understand it, but I did take the risk. You know, I felt confident because I knew the market was going up, but then I feel like once I could know where my stop is going to be, then that's it. Then I should be fine. Like, that's the first thing I try to calculate. If I get here, where's my stop? Like, what am I looking to lose? All right, this is where my stop is. All right, that's fine. That's decent, and we can take it from there. And then everything else, like I said, I just have to have that plan and then stick to it. Because if I don't, that's it gets bad. Because that market will retrace on you real quick.
yeah, definitely. I like that dude Kenny. He's gonna join the team, and he seems like he's pretty well versed in the fair value gap too. So as soon as he jumps on, maybe we could reach out to him to clarify some things with it.
Oh, I
And
can't
he's
wait.
trading Forex.
Yeah.
He's trading Forex with this, so
Yeah, so because I think when I did sit down, I heard Brandon talking about it. And I'm like, what did I miss? Because I told you I took a nap earlier because I just couldn't hold out. And I'm like, what did I miss? What do you miss? But I'm like, oh, fair value gap. Oh, so I'm like, oh, he's starting to use it. I'm like, this is great. I can learn more. This is awesome. And, while trying to look at the charts, but man, oh man. Oh,
yeah, it's only gonna get better, dude. You're gonna get more feedback from other people that actually use it pretty good or that know how to use it.
correct.
Me, I learned
And
it because I knew you were gonna use it, so I was trying to
Mhm.
learn it as fast as I can, so I can try to help you out as much as I can. But yeah, dude, you're killing it. You're doing pretty good.
the videos you sent really helped. And like I said, this is more of a I realize because I'll be the first one even prior to like always want to jump into like everything I see, but this is like where you have to really let it play out and make sense because it can go against you the same way. So
Yep.
I do like the fair value gap. It gives you time to really take your time and look at what's going on, especially and when I say in front of you, meaning like looking left to the charts to see what's previous because
Yep.
these other the red or green fair value gaps kind of gives me an indentation of what happened prior to the market and what levels I need to look for. So it's really good.
Yeah, I think that's why the fair value gap, that's where it helped me is always look to the left. Is there previous structure? Is there liquidity and all that stuff? That's what I was like, oh man, the light bulb started going off. And then,
Mhm.
like I say, every time every time there's previous structure and there's a large move, there's gonna be buyers or sellers depending on, if it's on the top or the bottom. But every time there's like right here, oops, um right here where that doji was formed,
Mm-hmm.
right there, this red candle dipped right back into it.
Uh-huh.
That red candle 2 candles later. This one right here. That one.
Okay.
You see how I also had a large wick? That's because it filled buy orders that were in that doji. It filled buy orders that were in that doji, and there must have been a large one, and it made it squeeze up. Either sellers were taking profit, or they got stopped out. Right as soon as that big green candle went up above it, they got
Mhm.
stopped out, and it kept squeezing up.
I know one thing that gave me, like I said, one thing that really helped me was when you started telling me about wicks.
Yep.
So this one right here, when I saw that's what kind of gave me that when I saw this wick, I didn't want to draw another line on it because this fair value gap was here.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
because this was here from a previous day and I saw it touching it, I'm like, all right, this is might be a good level to look at. I wasn't sure what the importance was, but I knew something told me look at it because it just hit this one. So depending on what ends up happening, if it goes under, it might go more down. But if it stays above this wick, then I think I have more potential for an upplay. So
Yeah.
that was the thought process.
Remember I said there was 3 confluences? I just remember what the third one was. It was a volume profile. And it was right
Oh, okay.
there. And it held that doji, that big large wick, the one that created the bottom. Yeah,
Mhm,
right
right
there.
here.
There was a large volume profile right there, and that doji, the body closed above it. I said, "Oh, it's gonna squeeze,"
Okay.
and that's what the third one was. So there was the volume profile, and like I said, those wicks. If you overlay the volume profile, it'll be right there. I bet you, or somewhere around that area.
Okay. Now, do you have the volume profile on like every minute or because for me, I don't know. I think on a 30-minute it's good. And then
Mhm.
going from there, if I draw lines to have it match every like if I draw a line on the volume profile and have it shared with the minimum time frames like the 5 and the 1 minute, it does help, but I find the wicks actually help better. Like the nobody dojis, they actually help me better.
Yep. Yeah, and those nobody dojis will line up with the volume profile. But I
Okay.
have my volume profile on Tradeovate. For some reason, I'm more attracted to the Tradeovate volume profile because I can see it live. You can see a limit wall get
Mhm.
formed, and you can see the volume profile shifting too. So I was like, oh shit, this is awesome. And that's how I'm calling all those price levels that I call out in the chat. Is like, okay, if it gets over this level, we're squeezing. If it stays under this, it's gonna dump. I'm getting those from the volume profile.
Got it. Okay. That's good. But yeah, that was my week. Very interesting week.
Cool, man. You killed it this week.
Yeah,
Well done.
thanks.
Yes. Killer week.
It was.
I mean,
Yeah, definitely.
do you notice you like trading NQ a lot better?
I do, but and I was thinking about this after this show. I was thinking about actually going back to ES for next week and just seeing. I do like trading NQ, but then something because I'm a snake and
Mhm.
pigs are my enemy.
Yep.
So I find it weird that NQ being a pig would be something good for me. So I was like, you know what? Let me try the ES next week and see what ends up happening. But I do like it. Don't get me wrong, I do. But
Once you go live, it might treat you bad.
exactly. So I put that
And me,
into
it's the other way
consideration.
around. I love it. Like once I started playing NQ, I don't think I've played ES in like 2 or 3 weeks now. But
See,
I'm a pig, and it's a pig, so
So you guys get them
Yeah.
all.
Yep. It treats me well. It treats me well.
How is a certain future a pig?
Huh?
Did you say that NQ is a pig?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pigs.
How is that?
What do you mean?
Why
Well,
are the
Well, it was
pigs?
created in a pig year.
oh, it was created in a pig ear.
Oh,
That's when that instrument started.
Yeah.
Ah, what
So Lasagna Cat, since you're my friendly year, NQ might be more better for you because you're a cat.
I'll look into that. I was actually like beginning to consider that today, listening to people talking about NQ, and I was looking at the QQQ chart today that we were playing, and it printed a nice big algo that created a fib that sort of dictated where the buy up was going to be. It was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually like really the type of stuff I look for. I love basing trade plans off of fibs and off of algos, and it was just like, huh. I actually thought that SPY was the only thing that printed algos like those, but the Qs do it as well, I guess.
Yeah, dude. So just try it out because, like I said, it might be if you're having a rough time in ES, it might be because it's not a friendly one for you. Not saying that it won't,
yeah,
but
yeah. Yeah, I'll take a look. I don't mind the fact that it's faster as well. Sometimes that's good. Like sometimes if you've caught a good setup, you know, you want that thing to work, and sometimes if it takes a long time to work, it's just like it can kind of drag out the energy process of being in it. It's kind of nicer if it works out quicker sometimes.
Is
Yep.
MES the same as ES in terms of when they were created?
yeah.
So what are they? The ES is a pig, you said, and
No, ES is a snake
ES is a
and
snake,
Q is a pig.
and Q is a pig. I gotta write this down.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try ES and see what ends up happening.
Oh no.
I'm sorry, I already screwed it up.
Oh,
I already screwed this up in
no.
my mind. So wait, I'm sorry. ES is a pig,
No,
No.
snake.
snake. Okay. And NQ
That's-
would be the piggy. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might
Interesting
want to try to
know.
figure out like if oil is a dog or whatever.
Yeah, that's
You want
totally
to play
different.
with your energy. It might treat you better.
Yeah, but like oil and those commodities are just a different. I consider those just a different breed, kind of. Like we're so used to, NQ and ES, SPY, the Q is kind of the same, but I don't know about oil. I mean, that just seems to me a lot different, but maybe not. I don't know. Never guess I ever really looked at it.
What's you call it? Noah also had some recaps for today.
Dude,
You want to do some recaps, Noah?
Yeah, it sounds good. I've got I'm just gonna do one at this point. I'm realizing actually I'm feeling after seeing all the details, I'm feeling a little loosey goosey. I think I took like 2 screenshots here. I'm gonna do more on my next ones. But I am also now just looked up the zodiacs. You guys are making me is my relationship doomed? I'm a tiger and my girlfriend's an ox. Oh, we're screwed.
Well, there are other factors at work as well.
Right, right. But it makes me feel good about NQ because NQ is a pig. Apparently, tiger pig is fantastic. So I do like NQ more.
Noah,
so.
dump your girlfriend.
Let me text her. I got it. Sorry, baby. I got money to make.
hey,
Uh,
astrology. There was a guy who was married. He was a pig and she was a snake, and he finally figured it out. So he finally divorced her.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh no. Oh no. Well, either way, yeah, I'll look at this one, and I've got some others that I took pictures of at least. But this one is probably the best, and it's also like just to hop over to the other one. I think this one was easier and it was kind of supplied by a lot of Brandon's pre-market technical analysis, so it really wasn't that crazy. I just took a long thinking that we were going long for the day, so I think like this other one that I have is probably less important. but this first one I took all by myself. It was actually on the same day of the one you showed, Dell, except I took what I saw to be thought a Head and Shoulders on the 1 minute. The RSI fell into the bottom channel on the 1 minute. The MAC fell underneath, and it had this. I think this is a question. I think this is bearish, indicating that there may be a large drop. This thing my mouse is over right here.
Yep.
Okay, all right. So I read that right. So and then I saw this algo, what was an algo wick here as well. And that kind of had some play into it, but I wasn't totally sure. And this first entry here to zoom in, this is just a greedy long. I was like, let's just, I don't know what I was doing here. I got in and then it got out immediately. And I was like, no, it's going long. And I was like, what am I doing? Let me get out of here. So I got like 2 points here. But then the play that I'm actually recapping here was getting in here for 3 micros. And basically the idea is flushing around this lower half and then popped up into the upper half. So the 10 on the 1 minute, the 10 SMA crossed under the 50. Price popped back up to the 50 SMA. The RSI popped up for the 50 retest, and the MACD popped up for the 0 line on top of the Head and Shoulders structure. And then I saw this big flush candle. And the reason I kind of think, even though this is just the one recap, it's kind of, nice to end on the one after all the details, so maybe a lighter one. But I thought it would be very useful for me. Is I think I've got a tendency to chase once I see a play actually start working out instead of getting in it preemptively. So then once this large red candle on NQ, I felt started the downward momentum. The 9 EMA and the 21 were both under the 100, and then the 9 kind of rejected the recross up with this big candle. I meant to actually get in right at the end of this candle with the stop essentially being at the top of the candle, because once the momentum starts, it shouldn't breach the high. Especially, that's actually why I love NQ, is I noticed that on downtrends, once they start, it almost never breaches the high of the previous candle. So that was the goal, is taking this stop loss and then just doing a 2-to-1. And then I got a little shaky once the RSI went into the overcooled. So I took profit early at only a 1-to-1 for, I think this was just 1 or 2 of the 3. And then I was like, and this is where, so I think this entry was all right. I guess I'll pause there. What does anyone think on the entry, just the simple entry into the short for the Head and Shoulders with these, with the indicator, the RSI and the MAC, and the 10 and the 50 ideas, the rejection of the recross on the 9 and the 21. Any thoughts on just the entry part?
The entry could have been a little bit better, and what would have helped you was the reject or the break back under the 50 and the 10.
Okay.
Yeah, right there.
Up here.
Because I've noticed I've gotten in as of lately. I've gotten more into trades at the tag of moving averages or right after. Like, see how you had that little green candle right there at the top, right
Which
before you
one?
enter that.
Okay.
The little green candle before the red candle you entered on.
Okay, so like
Oh,
this
yeah,
one.
that one. So once that big red candle started breaking below and it closed below, so you entered twice right there, because there's
So these,
You
this
entered
is
right there, right at
actually,
the 50 SMA, or you closed out?
so these four first arrows are actually just a goofy, greedy long. This is a long
Uh-huh.
enter, long close, long enter, long close, and then this is the short entry.
Oh, okay. So that top arrow is not an entry, right? The one on the, yeah,
No,
that one.
this top arrow is not an entry. So now you're probably going to say my entry could have even been even better since it's all the way down here.
Yeah. I would have probably entered at, what's that moving average below that one? Yeah, right
So
there.
that's the 9 EMA is the blue, and then the 21, and then the 100. All EMA. And then over on
Yep.
the right, the blue dashed is the 10 SMA, and the red dash is the 50. On the right, this is the Qs, and then this is the NASDAQ on the left.
Yeah, you could have entered right back when it broke below that 10 SMA. Right, we see those two little dojis on SPY? Right there, they're floating dojis and there's a little gap.
These right here.
Yeah, right there. As soon as it broke below that level, I'm getting in.
Okay, so you'd have been in
That's a
actually
pivot. To
during
me, I
this.
call those pivot points. Those are over under levels for me. So if that candle would have
Okay.
closed red like it did, then you entered on the next candle. So you can
Yeah.
either enter on the next candle or enter at the hold. You just gotta watch the candle development, right? So if the candle flushed below those two dojis and it stayed down there, it didn't get sucked up at all, then I would be trying to enter.
But then how do you determine, and you're saying it should get sucked back up before the close of the candle on this
If
one?
it didn't. Yeah, if it didn't.
So if it was going to fail, it should get. So if it
Sorry,
doesn't,
Noah, is this early morning? Because this is
yes, this
8:30. I think
is.
there was data at that time. At 8:30, there was data. There was a huge wick that came down and
Yeah, that
up.
big algo to the left.
I
Yeah,
believe
yeah.
there was, yeah.
Yeah, because I
And
remember I saw it. Scared the hell out of me.
And see how that big large algo to the left?
Yes.
Like it has, yeah, that one. See how it matches up with those other two floating dojis?
Yes.
Then definitely, Brandon had always taught us to draw a line or a zone because that one doesn't have a body. So I would draw a line on that algo, and that would be your over/under level. And as soon as it broke that level and held below that level, then get in.
Okay. So really my entry should have been about, maybe best would have been the halfway point
Yeah.
of this
Yep.
first red candle.
Yep.
More conservative, maybe at the close of it.
Yeah, exactly. Just because you want to see a lot of new traders, they just like get in just because they see a candle break a level. And it's like, no, you have to look at how the candle reacts to that level. Did it get sucked up right away? So that means buyers are coming in, right? So it might not close below that level. But if it broke that level and is slowly just staying down below that level, then that's weak to me. But if it gets sucked up like that big green wick at the top that got sucked up, then that one would say buying pressure, right? But the sellers got stopped out, which caused that big dump.
Okay. That makes sense. I'm going to keep that in mind and watch these dojis way more, especially on data.
Yeah, and then you know how you said that you got out a little early?
Yes.
The MACD would have helped you there. Look at the MACD. Look at the histogram. Right when you got out, the seller histogram was beginning.
Yes.
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
And then it crossed bearish. See how it crossed below? See how you
Yes.
got that cross right below, right before it's the red histograms right there. That's bearish to me when it crosses below it. And
So
then
it's
look
really-
at it.
Mhm.
And then a little bit more further down, like you get the cross back up, telling you that it's already exhausted and it's about to maybe potentially bounce back up or start reversing.
Okay.
But just keep in mind that MACD is a lagger, so you kind of got to anticipate that, and you just got to get used to it. Just pay attention. That's why on NinjaTrader, I highly recommend that you change it to on price change instead of on bar close.
Yep. Yeah, I noticed that actually. Funny first thing when I started throwing indicators on NinjaTrader. I was like, nothing is staying on my candle. I was like, everything is on the candle before. Then I had to change everything.
Yeah.
Okay,
Awesome
that.
trade, dude.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. That really helps a lot. Because I could have entered sooner based on the algo doji levels being broken and not broken back up. Could have at least had more confidence entering at the close of this candle.
Yep.
And then could have stayed in, because once the momentum started, I was like, oh, here we go. I'm in that sick profit. I mean, what was it like? I got in, yeah, about 55, and then down here, I'm in 10 points. So only 3 micros, right? So $60. But hey, I mean, if that was actual NQ, it would have been 600.
Yep.
But the number, it's all about the move and the structure.
No, it's about being consistent and being able to catch those moves, whether it's $60, $6,000. It's about being able to see the move, catch the move, and be able to not get out too soon.
Yeah.
Which I don't think you got out too soon because you're kind of at the bot, where it started consolidating.
True. Yeah. So
Next time, maybe if you
Mhm.
have 2 or multiple, lock in like 50%, 75% right there, and then let the rest ride. That's usually what I'm doing.
So this was actually decent then to go. If my entry was better than locking out 2 of my 3, so 66% would have actually been pretty good.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, because I realized I got out early and then I actually re-added some like 1 here, and I was like, why am I re-adding? And then I did it again, and I was like, why am I still re-adding? So then I just closed it all. I was like, clearly I'm getting a little frazzled about the momentum. I don't want to miss those, so I just closed the whole thing here. So at least I like that. I was happy about that emotional discipline of not just hoping for more. Like I got out, I closed my add-ins very quick because I had no reason to do it. So I guess I was bothered that I allowed myself to emotionally add in, but at least undid it quickly. So okay, that helps a lot. Entries, riding out, because those are actually my biggest problems. Chasing, not getting in quite soon enough, and then chasing, and then not letting it ride to the proper area. So that helps a lot
Yeah.
with my biggest problems.
Yeah, for entries, I always try to look for dojis in prior structure, or if it's not in that current structure where it's about to break or squeeze up, I always look to the left, see if there's any dojis, and then draw a line if you can. If not, you can just eyeball it, whatever.
Right.
But those dojis are very important in futures, very important.
Right. Okay, cool. Then that's the one I really had. I mean, this other one was entering in largely off of, Brandon's pre-market technical analysis of thinking that it's going to be pretty bullish on the day, and then once it broke above, so this right here is the open, this 930. I saw that 9 was above the 21. I like that for bullishness, especially in this current environment, because it just kind of keeps going and going. The algo force-ups. So then once it broke above this little pre-market consolidation, although this is why I noted that my screenshots were kind of inadequate, because you can't see enough of what's to the left as to why. But the MACD was above, the RSI was in the 50, top 50. And then as soon as it broke above here, got in here. But this also kind of exemplifies a problem or illustrates a problem that I have. I think this was a chase. When really, because at the top of this doji, I think this was a chase, when really I should have perhaps waited for the next candle entry, or maybe you don't even see this as a decent entry at the moment. It's also that I like using the Ichimoku cloud just for like to keep myself from being too dumb, because it's a nice support and resistance visualization. But any thoughts on this one, perhaps?
Look at I'll send you you're Toad, right, on Discord?
Yes.
I'll send
Yep.
you a video, and it talks about the two-legged entry or second leg entry. And it looks
Okay.
like you had a leg entry right there where that little white arrow or blue arrow is pointing right in the red cloud. Yeah, right there.
Uh-huh.
So the second leg entry says wait for the pullback low. So that first doji, see that first doji?
This one here?
That's the pullback low. Yep. That's the pullback low. The way that I use that entry is I want the doji to close above that moving average. If it closes above the moving average, then the next candle I'm getting in 1 or 2 ticks above the previous doji. And your stop, if you want a tight stop, would be the break below the wick of that doji. You know, the pullback low,
Yeah.
that doji,
Yep.
the first green doji. So
Yeah,
you would
so
be, your
these
stop would
actually
be right
line
there.
up. This is
Yep.
SPY the same, and then that's okay. Or actually, this doji is that one. Okay. Okay, so at least the stop
A
was
little
right.
bit
I
with
was
your
like,
entries. Yeah.
I was like, I definitely won't tolerate but much below the doji at all. I don't like ES because sometimes I feel like with NQ, I've noticed it will almost never break the lows, or it'll tap the lows, but it'll almost never violate them by even a tick if it's going on a true downtrend. But I feel like ES does sometimes. So I put it a little lower, like this is maybe 1 or 2 ticks below the doji wick.
Yeah, that's usually what I do. I'll put it like 2, maybe 4 ticks below the doji. And that also depends if I have a cushion. So if I had 2 green trades before that and I have a $700 or a couple grand cushion, then I might let it go a little bit more. But
Okay.
you got to be willing to risk extra if you're gonna do it that way.
Okay. Cool. All right. Then yeah, that's really the two that I had that included because the SPY and the Qs and all of these indicators are a large part of the technical analysis. And I got some other scalps around here that I just used just more like just straight up using this stuff. But frankly, I don't think these are great trades. This one was decent for various reasons, but it's like this isn't enough context. So all right, then that helps with my late entry chasing again, because it would be more if the doji of the level I'm looking to not break closes above the moving averages, so my entry could have been all the way down here. Cool.
Yep.
But yeah, and then just got out the whole thing on a 2-to-1. So
Cool.
well, thank you very much for the feedback. I'm going to stop sharing and go ahead and actually take notes on there.
For sure. Well, thanks for stopping by and sharing, man, because a lot of new members are scared or shy of even
Yeah.
like Lasagna Cat. He was one of the first ones to start posting reds, and he actually learned the most, and I learned the most from his reds as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for coming and stopping by and sharing your trades. I gotta jump off, so
100%.
I'll see you guys next week. Have a great weekend.
All
Thanks,
right.
Lasagna Cat, filling in.
My pleasure. See you next week, Semper.
Yeah, I'm going to start
Thank
adding
you,
this.
Sanford.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I
I'm
can
going to
just
start taking your advice then, Lasagna, or you're following your footsteps and post more reds. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. It really helps everybody, and it helps and it helps you really cement the lessons of what what not to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, really valuable, and we all learn from it. We get to see it in action.
Mm-hmm.
The different facets of what makes a trade work for the green recaps, and what makes a trade not work for the red recaps. So it's good learning all around. Yeah, man, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing some recaps and like it's just the thing that we encourage most is that as many people as possible share recaps and those are really good. That's like exactly the thing and thing we're looking for and Dell and Luna both, you know, both did great. Really good to see your guys' stuff and I learned a lot.
Yes.
And I'll stop the recording here. I got to get going as well.